Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Saturday to you. Hope all is well for you and your family. We're taking a look here, of course, at Bitcoin, helping you understand best practice, big picture. Just going to take a quick look at some of the obvious stuff here because I am a little worn out, so try to make this brief for you, okay? Now, if you are new to the channel, just know I love teaching people to trade. Been trading for over 15 years. Love teaching them and helping educate others on being successful themselves. So I have a trading academy, community, and signal group. Check that out in your own time. A lot of my graduates have moved on to do very well. So of course, if that is an interest to you, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link down below. Let's go ahead and take a look here, of course, at Bitcoin, kind of help you get perspective on what's going on here, because obviously it's a red day. Yesterday's a red day too, and you got to recognize that the reason for that is because traditional markets were down almost 3%. That's a pretty significant drop in one day for traditional markets, whereas dollar index went up as well. Okay, so as dollar index continues to go up, the value essentially of Bitcoin goes down. That's pretty much the best way to understand it. So in that sense, with where we're at right now, we're not in terrible shape because again, we're holding above support. The range of right around 18,800 to 19,200 is a strong support level. And we can see that probably reflected on that volume. I haven't taken a look at this in a while, but you can see right there, we're at the current price point, 19,200, essentially the most amount of volume in the last couple of months worth of trading, okay? So keep that in mind. We're still in good shape. When it wicks down below, it has a tendency of coming right back up. So I've been buying every single dip that I can. Anytime it breaks below 19,000, I have a limit order get filled. And I particularly like it, but again, depends on what kind of trader you are, right? That's more so for my long-term account. My swing trades, obviously, we're waiting a little bit for the price to recover because we got rejected very hard up here off of 19,800, right in that 20,000 range to make it really simple for you. And we're likely going to retest that again, but again, this is a weekend followed by a red Friday. Okay, you don't expect, or at least we shouldn't in the current climate, expect Saturday, Sunday to effectively be strong days. Now, I know I mentioned yesterday that I'm expecting green throughout the weekend, but that's if we had closed above 19,400. We didn't get that, unfortunately, and that really just implies that we should experience probably a little bit more red this weekend, or perhaps at least sideways action, and then potential increase come Monday. That's definitely, again, it's all potential and hypothetical. Let's just go ahead and see what kind of situations we have here, and if there's anything positive that we can highlight. We're under 50 on the RSI, not fantastic. We are drawing dead on the MACD, summarizing the fact that we have no momentum to really rely on in the last 4 or 5 trading days. And then, of course, if we take a look at the moving averages, we can see that we're still underneath the 50-day simple moving average and, of course, the 20. So, to me, there's really nothing bullish at all about the daily here because yesterday we were looking fairly decent, but had we gotten a closure a little bit higher than where we're at, we would probably be in a better shape because we would have had that momentum. Keep in mind, though, that this is all derived from the traditional markets doing poorly. Okay, so keep that in mind, and you also got to recognize too. Take this into account. Traditional markets, look at how steep of a decline that is, whereas Bitcoin is finding its bottom, right? So I think there's a strong likelihood that we're in pretty good shape with Bitcoin. The overall sense of the bottom, being in, you could say. Again, there's no guarantees in that, but it just seems like the likelihood continues to increase as Bitcoin survives in the 18 to 19,000 range, where other traditional markets keep bleeding out, right? Again, just some perspective there, but there's no doubt that regular markets do affect Bitcoin. It'll be like that probably indefinitely. It's just certain times of the year it'll be more or less. Taking a look at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and just quickly peek. We're under 50 on the RSI. We got a MACD divergence here, even though it's not super strong, that is still diverging. And if we take a look at the moving averages here, we can see we're below all three. So again, nothing good on the 4 hour either. Okay, so even though we've broken above this descending trend, we're still continuing sideways at support right in the 19,000 range. So in general, I think at this point we're not in bad shape, but we're not in good shape either. Okay, so either way you look at it, let's go ahead and take a look at the 1 hour and help understand kind of what that looks like. Because with the 1 hour, what we're looking for is TD sequential, kind of see if there's any overexhaustion. Because we addressed this yesterday, we came we came down very hard and it recovered quite quickly because it was overexhausted. Same thing occurred here as well. We hit a 9, came up to this resistance level and got rejected, came back down to another 9. Okay, so this 9 happened at the support level, so we're consolidating now. That makes perfect sense. It's exactly the way it should be. We just got to recognize that there's not a tremendous amount of catalyst to push the price action higher right now. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubt leading into a weekend. A lot of folks are hesitant to add to their position or to buy and go long because it might come back down again, right? That's the kind of the fear that we're seeing. So you got to recognize that that is generally what's stalling the market out. It's obviously low volume on the weekends too, but generally speaking, those are not great things. One thing I do like here, slight positive, is that the lower lead here on the cloud is averaging itself out right at support. But there's no doubt that this is screaming bearish divergence in the sense that we have this momentum to the downside. The conversion line is below the baseline, of course, giving us the indication that we have that momentous push to the downside. It is starting to dissipate, which is good, but the lagging span being within the price action and the price actually being within the cloud, there's really no good sign here to take a position in either direction. Because we got a support holding the price action in place, but we also got that potential of it dropping below. I mean, you could hypothetically say if the price drops below the cloud, then that's the confirmation you're looking for a short position, but I still wouldn't feel comfortable doing that based on the large amount of volume we have at this area and how much average we have, generally speaking, at the price point of 18,800 to 19,200. So at this time, I would say that no position is a good position. If you're going to add to your position in the general sense of your spot portfolio, just adding to your total bag, then by all means, definitely do that. I personally feel 19,000 is a good value. That's just me personally. I've been adding to my position consistently in the mid to low 19s, as well as anytime I see 18,000, I go for it. All right. So again, really, really good stuff there in that sense, in the overall general sense. But the truth is, it's bearish as all get out. Right. We're definitely shouldn't expect immediate recovery, but on the same accord, we shouldn't expect to go much lower either. It's really one of those things where the next couple of days are going to be kind of uneventful. Same thing with the majority of altcoins too. There's nothing really surging at this point. Whereas tomorrow night at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's right when the Eastern markets open, we could very well see a push in whichever direction they want to take the market. Okay, that's usually an undeterminable event because a lot of times they'll just kind of do what they want, and it's contrary to traditional markets. While futures are open, Sunday night, a lot of it is derived from what they want to do with it. So either way, just a commentary there. Nonetheless, hopefully this helped educate you on how things are. I'm sorry it's not very eventful. That's just kind of how the market goes sometimes, especially on weekends. So I wouldn't expect sunshine and rainbows here, and it's not really doom and gloom either. It just is what it is for the moment. And I would say sideways action would make the most sense this weekend, followed by some interesting behavior tomorrow night, and potentially also, definitely on Monday when the regular market's open. We'll see if we get a gap up or down, and essentially how significant that looks. Thank you so much for joining me here. One last thing I forgot to mention: if you are not part of my Bitget crew, you could say, just note that there is a $10,000 prize pool, and we have events pretty much consistently. Okay, so this is our first event. It's doing very well in the overall sense of activity, and I'm proud of a lot of my members for sticking to their roots and not over trading, but also shooting to try to get some of that extra cash, because a chunk of this is profit and loss ratio. Another chunk is I think volume, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And then of course there's even more, like an extra $4,000 prize pool within for those who just have over 3 million in volume within the 2-week period that we're doing this. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's generally where we're at here. Really cool stuff. Be sure to check that out in your own time. And for the moment, I want to thank you again for joining me. Hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. We'll see you in the next one.